Hello, viewers. I'm SB,
And my name is Amabel.
and welcome back to Amabel Goes to 4X School, the musical episode. It's all singing all the time.
But you're not singing.
But I'm not singing. Well, I'm the one who doesn't. There's always like one person in the cast who can't quite pull it off, and they get the patter song. I can talk real fast, so that's
Yeah.
we don't need the resource overlay. What am I doing? We do know that we are settling over hereabouts. I think it's probably here, right? I guess I am going to turn the resource overlay back on. So we're settling this region, and I think it's probably here to take advantage of the bonus approval from the Earth Spine.
All right.
There's not a ton of industry in this setup, no matter where we put down. Right here, we have a ton of science, fair amount of dust and food, and we'll just figure it out from there. We'll build a foundry. It'll be fine. We'll get there. Unfortunately, we are bad at walking. We are so bad at walking.
Big same.
Yeah, it feels like it's definitely some art imitating life type shit. All right, we do need to deal with this village eventually, and dealing with it will, of course, get us a point of population for the city. The quest they gave us to produce 12 food and 12 influence in the city for a period of 5 turns is still not super easy to do. People working on influence do not produce a tremendous amount of influence. So this might be one where we want to buy them off or destroy the village through violence. Right now they would be 2 Silix. We're far, the village is far enough away. Oh no, actually, I can get the garrison of the city to help out. Yeah, we might just violence them to death.
Yeah.
That might be the way
sense.
to do the thing there.
Because they're 2 Silix.
Okay, because they're two. What are we doing? What? Can you explain the bit to me?
Because they're too silly, but then they're Silix.
Okay.
Look,
all right. Okay.
I don't have a great accuracy rate, but I do.
Yeah, you know what I love about you? You know what I love about you is that you try. All right, I am going to attempt the pacification quest on this island here. We will hand them 50 of our dust. Okay, they just want us to bring 5 glass steel to another one of the villages on the island. That one. That's easy enough. Yeah, let's just get back in the water.
Thank you for acknowledging that I try. I just kind of throw stuff against the wall and see what sticks. And I apologize for the trouble you're going to have getting the security deposit back.
See, that was a good one. I enjoyed that. All right, as far as our faction quest goes, right now where we're at is waiting. We have to successfully control a villain for 10 turns. Right now we are 4 turns through that process.
I mean, that should be pretty doable, right?
Yeah, I don't expect us to be challenged on that. This can be difficult sometimes. We were able to get control of the oceans really early, but if you don't manage to wrest control early enough and the AI sees that it is worth it for them to build a navy and they take over a fortress or 2 and then you're like fighting back and forth over control and nobody can secure the region, that can turn into a real sort of a morass, draining a lot of resources and attention for both players. And it's very, very good for us that we made that happen as quickly as we did. All right, we just finished researching cargo docks. Definitely a thing of some significant import. We are hemorrhaging dust right now. So there's a couple of different ways we could approach that. As much as I do like the idea of like alchemy workshops and stuff, maybe we should fall back into the first era and research the relatively cheap to build Empire Mint, which will pretty dramatically increase the dust output of our cities. There is no equivalent dust producing building in the second era. There is this flooding building sites with armies of cheap labor effectively allows construction projects to be quickly completed at no cost is a way of wording that. There's a cost. Somebody's paying it. It's not you. This reduces the buyout cost of the of things, but it doesn't generate money directly. Yeah, I think we're gonna fall back and grab the Empire Mint. Like, we're gonna need Empire Mints.
Okay.
Alright, so you're headed down here to pacify these villages, and then we might take over this region as well, honestly. You are searching stuff. Okay, that's a disappointment. We have found nothing in this location. I don't think we need to search this way any further. Let's fall back and grab... There's a bunch of ocean ruins over here. And as we well know, ocean ruins can be awfully valuable. Also, hey, check that out. There's a bunch of pearls floating there. And we almost have use for them. As soon as our altar finishes, we'll have some direct use for our pearls. Alright. Iraku can bring the city garrison into combat here. We could just bribe them instead of getting into the fight. If we bribe them, it's going to cost us 170 dust. And right now we're losing dust, but we're not so low that it's impossible. Like, my hope is that we're going to find a couple of dust rewards in those ocean ruins, and that's going to enable us to to hire on a new hero. If we do this bribe, that goal gets further and further away, you know?
So you want to commit to the attack then?
Yeah, this would mean that we don't have to rebuild the village, which is significant. But I'm going to commit to the attack because I'm trying to get the money together for a hero. Alright, we're going to do this manually because the AI might not do it the smart way if we don't force them to. Now we should talk really quickly about the hero here. Our hero has a spell that can be cast on friendly units that causes them to explode when they die, doing damage equal to 30% of their max HP. So this is a thing we're going to want to load up on our our militia units as best we can. Unfortunately, because the militia get to move, the militia are faster than the hero, both in terms of movement speed, like tiles, and also initiative. They're going to get away from him, but we're going to have them just be a little casual here for a second until all three of our units are out. And you were about to ask something?
When they explode, is it in all adjacent hexes? Is it like how is the explosion handled? I guess I'll see.
Yeah, we can't quite all get into aggressive positions yet, so I'm going to slow roll this one more turn. In particular, the problem is we can't get control of that guy in the back. I do not want the Silix to be allowed to make a move of their own choice at any point during this process. That's very important to me. Because they have, first of all, the ability to stun people on their attack. But anything that has this kind of text where it's like a thing happens when attacking does not apply to counterattacks. And secondly, they have the beam capacity. Their attack shoots through their target and hits stuff behind. But again, only on attack, not on counterattack. Now, what they do have, obviously, is just like very superior actual combat stats to us. I'm going to try to make sure that we stay sort of grouped up here so we're getting maximum morale. Militia have a high enough defense that these things will they will not get to apply their impressive damage value. At least, you know, some reasonable percentage of the time. Yeah, we'll take 0 or very little damage. Militia are solid units. They're remarkably capable. It turns out we didn't even need the sacrifice spell. Nobody came anywhere near dying. Alright. The village is converted. We actually leveled up some of our militia, which is fun. Technically, they're ready to be assimilated, although we are going to have to rebuild their village before that does very much for us. I'm going to march our hero up here, and he's going to rejoin the Navy next turn. And we're going to see about capturing these other 2 regions real quick. So we're on the way. It feels a little, we feel a little stagnant, but we're on the way to doing a bunch of things. It just takes time. Again, we have that thing where, you know, turns of the 4X game are a little bit incremental. Right,
yeah.
So we have enough movement to stop off and grab this pearl before we put the city down. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say that's the incrementalness. Like it has its downsides, but also it can, and I feel like here it does give the thing a lot of texture.
Mm-hmm.
And I certainly value texture quite a bit in games.
Okay, so we had a quest from the people of this region to make sure there is no enemy army in that region in a certain number of turns. We got that done basically without having to try very hard because there's no other players anywhere nearby. So right as we're about to settle here, they've become pacified and they'll join us. And they've given us some Moonleaf. Right now, our people are not super happy, but we have enough resource boosters here to push up, and I'm going to fire everything for 2 reasons. One of those reasons is that, if you remember, the cost of firing a luxury booster is 5 plus 5 per city that you have. So firing them right now, right before we put down a new city, lets us fire them for cheaper. And
Gotcha.
the food and gold, we don't have enough to fire them after the city goes down. Okay, and all together, that's enough to get the Empire approval status up to happy for the bonuses, which is a little bit of a shame because when we settle this, it's going to knock that down by 10 points, I believe. Well, but it's weighted, and the city we just put down has a natural approval bonus because it's next to that resource. So, 62% we maintain. Still some bonuses, which means we're positive on dust, which is pretty grand. Between the gold and the plus 15% dust from being happy. So yeah, that's all very good. We are for sure going to focus on this mill foundry. I do want to get that extra point of population immediately. Yeah, let's run 1 turn of food for the extra body, and then we'll all industry focus to get the mill foundry actually finished. That way there'll be some industry in the area. And I think our next focus for settling should be Hariel. Again, we don't know exactly what the state of the strategic resources here is. There probably will be more that are not yet revealed. And secondly, wine. Wine is incredibly valuable. I don't know where we'll put down exactly, but we got time to figure that out. All right, so you're going to go and find a huge amount of dust in this ruin, right? You found a quest. The tribe that has settled comfortably in these ruins is unhappy with their ugly new overlords. They don't like their noisy habits, blasphemous forms of worship. We saw this quest before. So if we capture that fortress, we will receive 25 emeralds. This is not a great reward. Emeralds give plus fortification value on your cities while the booster is active. I don't see that being super relevant to us, if I'm honest. All right, you're supposed to get in the water here. So this is a little bit unfortunate. This fortress produced a reinforcement army right before we got to them. If we give them 8 wine, we can take control that way. We don't quite have any wine. But we're going to get wine in 4 turns. Maybe we want to resolve this in a non-combat fashion. Well, the thing is, though, I want to use the wine. I'd like to fire a wine booster. And that's going to cost us 20 of the 25 that we're going to get. So we're not going to get to... we may just have to deal. We may just have to fight them. If I attack them right now, the roaming army will show up as reinforcements to the facility. What I might do is wait a turn. Let's take the roaming army separately and then attack the fortress.
Okay.
And you are just headed down here to complete the quest. Somebody's going to have to deal with these roaming Gelderous armies, although actually, it's worth noting they're very badly damaged. The tiles that have the lava flow on them do damage to units that walk on them, and biological units do not heal naturally on volcanic tiles, so they can't recover HP as long as they're on the island. They'll probably just kill themselves, given a little bit of time. Maybe we don't need to worry about this at all. All right,
what do we need to worry about?
Well, boats. There's a pretty good chance this roaming army is going to come after us. We probably don't have to do anything here. No, they're not. Well, I would like to fight you, so let's engage that. Volcanic ash. Due to volcanic ash falling from the sky, tiles are producing less food. That's no good. A land of fire and ash. What dark sorcery is this? On the far horizon, a black peak riven with fire spews an ashen rain across the surrounding terrain, threatening to permanently turn good land into blackened wasteland. Reports have it that these artificial monstrosities are scattered across the whole of Auriga, always springing up in empty places far from major cities. Who seeded such destructive mechanisms? To what end? These are vital questions, but not our focus at this time. Now we must marshal our power, collectively as Aurigans united, and destroy as many of these wicked machines before our lands are scorched beyond hope. So, volcanoformers have appeared. This is a Kapaku thing. They're trying to volcanoform the planet because they would like to live here. We can't allow that because then we can't live here.
Okay.
So, somewhere in the world, there's a handful of these volcanoformers. Do we see any of the others? They'll have a little like aura around them indicating the tiles that they're trying to transform. So there's one over there. Running around and dismantling them. So this is a cooperative quest. For each volcanoformer that gets dismantled, the person who dismantled it will immediately get 50 dust. When all three are dismantled, the effect that's making everybody's food terrible will go away, and whoever contributed the most, whoever destroyed the most, will get 50 titanium. There's a number of these like semi-cooperative quests that will pop up from time to time.
If there's a tie for the most, how is that resolved?
I don't know. Alright, this should be pretty easy. I think we can let even though our hero is a ranged unit and ordinarily this would not be the way you would want to do this thing, we can probably let our hero kind of tank because he's very impressive defensive stats. That said, I don't necessarily want these guys to get their... Well, you know what? No, I probably do. I probably do want them to get their attacks off on the hero. So they have 3 movement speed. Yeah, let's park the hero like right at the edge of where they can attack. Let them spend their force, because they do have superior initiative. Let them spend their force on things they can't actually harm very much, and then we'll counterattack in force. Alright, excellent work, subs. Less excellent work from the Vors, but they are shredding the armor on that thing. So you can see its defense is lowered.
Yep.
There we go. Are you okay? Are you still laughing about Vor?
I'm sorry. I'm laughing about your excellent combined arms of subs and Vors.
Okay. The Draken have finally destroyed 10 armies and have gained tactical training. Legendary deed swiped from under our nose. Oh no, whatever shall we do? So, unfortunately, we had to attack them. That's unfortunate because down here you have a resource, the action point. Every army has 1 action point by default, and it costs an action point to either attack somebody or to run away. And your action point refreshes at the beginning of the turn. So having attacked that force there, we can't also attack the fortress. We're going to have to wait until next turn. Over here, we can fulfill this quest, pacifying the village. We certainly don't need all the glass steel that we have. Oh, hey, that's a fortress we haven't talked to. This is a storm, isn't it? Okay, yeah, let's stay out of the lightning tile. Ah, okay, so see, this is a thing the cult does. The cult has indoctrinated this neutral village. So they are now a member of the cult, basically like a little satellite city.
Okay.
It can be very annoying to share a landmass with the cult, with them constantly doing this to everybody. I think we're going to ignore the volcano former thing for right now. It's just kind of like out of our reach. Wow, 2 empty ruins of the 4 we've searched so far. That's some bad luck. All right, let's take our 4 points of population, put a little gas under this mill foundry. We are still working hard on other builds. Obviously, our lives are going to get a lot better when the volcano farmers are dealt with, but they're very far away from everything we're currently doing.
And they're very inland.
Yeah, not a fun time for us in a lot of ways. All right. Frustratingly, another defending ship was spawned the turn before we could possibly attack, and not only was it a ship, it's a fire ship. So we're still going to win the battle, but this is not great news for us. So you can see here, the fire ship. These things have the endless flames ability, allowing them to fire. Basically, they get to attack in an arc. They have cleave. And they set opposing ships on fire, causing them to burn slowly for several rounds. Again, we're just going to let our hero stay in front and endure the most direct consequences of battle. That fire ship's going to have to go. Now, the good news is that because these are... these guys are pretty good at healing. Like, I'm not too worried about the fire on them. And I think the submersible... yeah, can ignore... yeah, so if we can submerge, we can ignore the fire effect as well.
Okay.
So our army's pretty good against fire ships, but still, I don't like seeing it. For one thing, that fire ship, you might notice, has like 5 times as much health as the boarding vessels do. And you can see our ship it has a gif of a fire on it now. That's actually, I really like that fire effect. I think that looks pretty good. All right, enough of that nonsense. Okay, so we captured this fortress. This fortress has a facility producing dye. That's fantastic, and that's a whole ocean region to ourselves. One more to grab over here, and then we can... turn around and find something else to do. Apparently there is... gosh, there's just a lot of hostile boats in this area. He's not actually attacking us, though. Which is weird. Okay, well, we found 20 dye. Dye causes you to produce extra influence. Let me look real quickly at our cities. Okay, 2 of our cities are sitting just below the happy threshold, the ones that don't have a natural boost to their approval from terrain. So I'm going to go ahead and fire that dye booster, because that's going to get those 2 cities now up to happy as well, so they're producing extra food and industry, which obviously matters a bunch. Although the food bonus would be more significant if food tiles were producing their normal yields. All right, so it's possible that the cult can't produce boats. They might have settled inland enough that you have to have a city, you have to have a district adjacent to the water in order to produce boats. Ah, okay, a warm reception again. Stoke the flames of their enthusiasm, etc. Burning desire to meet your heroes. Okay, we might...
I'm sure it'll go fine.
The thing is, at this point, as you saw, at this point, if our hero gets ambushed by a bunch of fire ships, he can probably just kill them. So I'm a lot less concerned about it. All right, so we got ourselves an Empire Mint. I think the thing to think about now is that we have a sort of a queue built up of things that we need to build in most of the cities. You know, nobody has their cargo docks yet. The new city has a bunch of stuff already lined up. So this would be a good time to research something that doesn't require us to also build a thing to take advantage of it. There are not a huge number of such things. We can research some improved diplomacy, giving us the ability to make proper peace with other players, which can have some, significant diplomatic benefits. We have tried very hard to avoid meeting our neighbors, but once we have that sort of thing, it might be sensible to do so. We could also open up the resources and stockpiles section of the marketplace. I think I'm inclined to go this way.
Okay.
I think Imperial coinage will be good to us because we have very high production of some of our resources. Not very high, but we have fairly high production of some resources. We can definitely make some money this way and then use that money to, buy heroes and stuff. And you're just going to run away, I guess, at the beginning of the turn. I don't really want to get attacked by that random boat over there. All right. Let's see what happens. Also, our temple to Auriga is completing in Forony this turn. So first of all, you can see Forony's borders expanding. More tiles to exploit. But secondly, that means that we can start using these pearls for stuff. So what was the quest here? Activate 2 wine boosters. Ooh, boy. Do I want to actually wait on this one? Here's the thing. The Palliative Prow is... Well, it's a very powerful item, but it's also extremely costly. You don't even know what those 2 resources in that cost are. Just trust me when I say this is an expensive item to equip on your ships. And it's a good item, no doubt, but maybe a little too expensive. I guess I'm going to direct this guy in the direction of the volcano formers. Now he has nothing else to do. I may as well, see. You're going to look around for additional things to do in this ocean. There are still so many, ruins and stuff in the world to play with. Okay, I think we probably want to build an Empire Mint really quickly. We want our cargo docks, but the cargo docks are going to take some considerable amount of time. We can get that Empire Mint done really fast, and then start benefiting from all the extra income. And it looks to me like we are in fact going to complete our thing here. So that's wonderful news. We're going to get that wonder building. The Altar of Auriga is a sacred building to those who live upon her. It is a center of ancient power from the times even before the Endless. By bringing her pearls here and unlocking the altar's blessings, powerful magical effects can be applied. So, the Altar of Auriga. Once you have your altar constructed, you can see the potential effects that will be added to the next winter. And keep in mind, each winter, some new effect gets added, and that effect is present in all winters from that point. So the winter is going to accumulate more and more complexity over time. We can pay pearls to add prayers to particular effects and have them, whichever one has the most prayers on it is the one that's going to be added. So we can affect this now with our pearls since we have our altar. We also can use the pearls to unlock the ability to unlock some technologies that are winter specific. The way this works is it advances outward every time there's a winter. So when the second winter begins, we'll be able to research the second ring of things. And when the third winter begins, we'll be able to get the outer ring. These technologies in the inner ring are not so great. I think we probably will ignore them. But some of the ones in the second tier are very significant. So right now, if nobody messes with it, the effect that's going to be added to next winter is minus 50% influence cost on assimilation, plus 15% attributes to units from hostile minor villages. So this is referring to like the neutral armies that are produced by by minor villages. This honestly doesn't matter very much.
Okay.
We could try to swap it out for bonus health regen in friendly regions, lowered health regen in non-friendly regions on armies, or minus morale for units in cities, like basically canceling out that the positive morale effect of standing on your own city tiles. I don't think any of the three of these are significant. We're certainly not going to spend precious pearls to mess with that. But it's good to be able to look at it, you know, it's good to have the knowledge. All right, so I think a lot of things are going pretty okay for us at the moment. Let us continue and also run away from this this thing at the first opportunity to move. Now the question, should I just make the attack here? Should we just take on 2 boarding vessels plus whatever that is? I mean, it's going to be another boarding vessel. You know what? Let's just try to do it now. So the other 2 boarding vessels will show up as reinforcements, which means they will spawn on the flags at the beginning of the first turn. All right, everybody try to focus on this guy as best you can. Let's try to like burn him down one at a time. So we've lured him into position, attacking our hero. Things are going to get a little messy for the second turn, when they're actually going to get to choose their targets. And you can see we are losing some real hit points here. Yeah, the opponents having initiative means they get to choose who fights, which is allowing them to focus their fire, which really sucks. Please kill this guy this turn. Okay. Yeah, we damn near lost a unit there. Alright, so we captured the fortress. We got the emeralds. We have failed the fortress's quest, but who cares? Iraku has gained enough XP to max out his Ancient Mariner. So another 250 health and 20 initiative and 30 damage means that he is now actually a very impressive naval unit. He is one of the best ships we could hope for at this point.
Okay.
Oh, hey, the Draken. Okay, so now we know a little bit more about that. We know that the Broken Lords put their capital on the sea, so they could produce a navy. Although seeing that the naval region next to them is already controlled by another player may cause them to steer away from that, which is kind of what I was hoping to do. Like, you know, if they don't think it's worth it to build ships, then we never have to deal with their navy. Let's hope they have the wisdom. All right, show me a cool wonder. We did it. Look at that. So, this structure is fantastic. Oh, also, apparently, you've made an impressive step. Be the first to gather 30 units of one luxury resource at the end of the turn in order to gain wine. That's true. We were about to have enough wine to take that fortress over quest-wise. I forgot that we were close to this. It's probably fine. It probably doesn't really matter. We got our legendary building, the museum, so it's giving that city bonus approval and science and dust output as long as we keep the city happy. And since it's providing so much approval, it should be pretty easy to do. Also, we finished, that was the 10th turn of controlling Wervelin. So, now we have to search all of the ruins in the ocean Wervelin and its neighbor Yarrow. Is Yarrow a region that we know? We know Tykest, Wervelin, Matanch, so Yarrow must be on this side. All right, well, I guess that gives our Navy something to do. Okay, and we have a nice like cluster of ruins here.
So something I... Oh, wait, you probably have something to read here.
Yeah, let me read this real quick.
Okay.
Sometimes exploration becomes a leap of faith, a gesture of hope and courage rather than a rational project. This is true adventure, where there are no guidelines, no landmarks, no maps, just a willingness to see and explore where no others have gone before. There is a ruin out there that you have heard of, a lost ruin on the far side of this ocean, perhaps even on the far side of other oceans, also as yet undiscovered. Finding it will be no simple thing. There are no indications and no landmarks. You will have only your spirit and a sailor's luck to guide you, and when we find it, we'll get a bunch of dust and influence. I guess that's pretty rad. In Mean, which is not this ocean. And also that's an ocean we don't know. So, that'll happen eventually, probably. So what were you going to say?
Well, so something Oh, hang on, there's another quest.
What were you going to say?
One thing I noticed both about this and Civ, and I'm wondering if this is something that's typical of as much as anything is typical of the genre, of course, is this continual stream of micro quests and competitions to give you some goals, some direction, so it's not entirely self-directed. Is this a thing that you would expect to see in a 4X generally?
It's certainly more common the more modern you get. Like the older Civ games did not have quite as much of the sort of like constant, like another little thing to focus on, and then another little thing to focus on. But you get some of that for yourself from just like, every couple of turns, a significant building is finished, and then you have another interesting decision to make, and that sort of thing. But the presence of like the complications that come from without relatively frequently to keep you focused, it definitely feels like a more modern sort of thing in Civ, and to some extent even in Endless Legend. When Endless Legend launched, there weren't pearls and there weren't so many cooperative quests and stuff. It is a thing that has evolved into the genre in, like, I would say the last generation or so of these games.
Okay, that's really interesting.
Sort of a tightening of an idea that was kind of already present, again, because like the things these games became known for was the way they pull you along the just one more turn of it, you know?
Now, as someone who has played these games for quite some time, when was the first time you played a 4X game?
Geez, I don't know. I played Civilization 2, I think it would have been, when I was quite young.
So, do you generally think that what are your feelings about this kind of modern trend? Do you miss some of the...
No, I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing all the way around. What it does is it keeps you having to pay attention to the world. You could get very insular before, just sort of like, especially in a situation like this where we don't have direct competition with any neighbors. I am suspecting that Purple is probably one of the one city factions. So like all of this land is going to remain non-competitive and stuff. And
is the cult also a one city faction?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, like, we could just hunker down and ignore the outside world, if not for, like, the fact that we're going to want stuff that pearls are for, and we're going to, have to interact with the volcano formers outside our borders. And I think it adds things for you to compete with your neighbors over, which introduces conflict, which is good. And it keeps you looking outside your borders and paying attention to the rest of the map, which is good.
Okay.
So hey, a majestic creature. You may not have seen or heard of them, but one of the greatest marvels of Auriga's diverse wildlife is the stunning skyfin. They've been called flying carpets, lizard angels, floating dreams, and many odder things. Famed not only for their beauty, but also their rapid movement and their ability to harvest strategic resources, any leader of an empire would want one under their command. Luck is with you. Luck, it seems, is with you. A skyfin has been spotted moving alone across the wilds of Auriga. Perhaps it can be yours. Okay, it's over there. I don't think we're likely to be able to... The only unit we have in this area is so bad at combat. But a skyfin, yeah, a skyfin is certainly a handy thing, a native Aurigan creature, and certainly a handy thing to have. So as far as I'm aware, we have searched all the ruins in Wervelen, so it's just a matter of figuring out where the hell Yarrow is. And we are completing lots of builds here. All around the Empire. Lots of things completing. Our income is getting pretty solid. Uh-oh, did the lighting conditions just change a little bit? Uh-oh. Okay, yeah, some Delvers got destroyed. That's going to happen. I think we're about to see the eclipse.
Okay.
So I want to think a little bit here about where I want my people to be. Because there is a lighting change one turn before the eclipse.
Okay.
This navy is just gonna keep sailing westward, but we might end up detaching Iraku and teleporting him back over to the capital or something to help search ruins, if I am right. And now I have to wonder, like, I was gonna run this guy up on land to deal with the volcano farmer and get some money that way, but I'd like to be in a position to hit a temple ruin if I saw that correctly. And that lighting change is way more obvious at this zoom level than it is at the zoomed out map level. So I might have misread it because I was kind of like zooming in as it happened.
And we're on turn 34, so turn 40 there'll be another Empire plan thing. Is it every 20 turns? Or
That's correct. That's what this notification is reminding us.
Okay.
Ooh, okay, there's Silix here. We might not actually be in a good position to do a fighting. We might want to just get back in the fucking water. Alright, I'm gonna plan to get back in the water. That's a temple ruin over there. Let's... Crap, if we are seeing an eclipse starting here, that tells us that winter is probably very shortly afterward. So that's a little concerning. I'm not really ready for winter yet. But we are now at 300 dust plus 53 per turn, and hero hiring is a little bit south of 400. So we are in a place where we're going to be able to get some governors relatively soon, hopefully. You will notice these cargo docks. They take a while to build. Here's the deal with the cargo dock. The dock tile itself has plus 5 industry, plus 1 food, plus 1 dust. And it also adds 5 industry to every sea or lake tile that the city is exploiting. So in a coastal city, a cargo dock can produce a ton of industry. If you are able to level up your dock, the dock tile itself will gain another 10 industry and 2 food and 2 dust. And on top of that, the cargo dock always adds 10 approval to the city, whereas most expansion districts lower your approval until they're leveled up. So it's just a very, in terms of the yields, it's a very powerful district. And if you can surround it with 4 other districts, it becomes much, much better. Definitely a thing worth building where we can here. Okay, so let's find out. Was I right? Is it time? Did I perceive that correctly? I did. Okay. Ooh. I'm gonna change my... Nope, never mind. We've been pursued. I wanted to grab that conflux up there. So, searching this ruin, we found 100 dust and also 20 spices. Pretty rad. And somewhere we have encountered one of Liloriel's units. We've properly met. He did build a ship and it got close enough to our fortress that we have now properly met each other. So we can see he is currently mildly jealous. He does not like that we share a border. The border in question is this ocean border, so he would have to declare proper war to do anything about it, but he might. The Broken Lords, they do love to fight.
Well, that's how they got all broken.
Where else do we see? I might want to... It's a long distance back. I wonder if it would be better to just sail along the coast here and see if there's more opportunity to find ruins. I'm a little worried that if we try to sail back home and get the ones that are on the mainland, we won't make it in time. The eclipse, can be awfully short sometimes. All right, 10 glass steel in that ruin. That's kind of cool. Also, that's 6 pearls just sitting there. Take that. Remember, during the eclipse, we get a bunch of bonus movement speed on the water.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to help. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna unassign our hero. I should have done this before moving. And we're going to create our hero, create an army out of our hero on this city. And we're gonna go and we're gonna grab this stuff around here. Okay. There's a bunch of these cube confluxes around our hero, empowering confluxes that give an attack bonus. Sadly, we do not have any of the run really fast confluxes, which are the ones that would be convenient to have. We did finish researching Imperial coinage. We'll dig into that in a moment. But before we do anything else, we got attacked by some Silics. Obviously, we will be retreating here. This army is no longer in any kind of shape to resist any kind of violence. So we're just going to disengage thoroughly. Fine, you can have the volcano farmer. We've discovered an insignia. Okay, so this is interesting. We've discovered an item that can be equipped in an army's, in a hero's accessory slot. You can see there it can be equipped by heroes only. And it gives the Ghost Force capacity. It stealths the entire army under the hero's command.
That's a pretty neat.
Powerful item, potentially. What?
Okay, can you hover over that? Can I see that again? No.
Yeah, hold on. No equipment. Here we go. What's up?
The little ghost icon?
Yeah.
That's really charming. I like that so much.
So you can see here, if we put it on, entire army will become invisible on any tile. Invisibility does not work against adjacent armies or units. So, very sneaky, but not like infinitely so. But yeah, obviously very powerful for maneuvers and whatnot. So we're still going to be building, like we still have building going on, building queued up, important critical things for a while yet in our cities here. So I kind of would love to research another thing that doesn't require us to build anything to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
We could gain another minor faction assimilation slot. We don't have anybody assimilated right now, and that's probably something that could change. I forgot to fire... I meant to fire wine as soon as we got the wine, because we have so much bonus approval now that we're pushed over the top here. The Empire is fervent. We are getting big bonuses to all of our important resource outputs. Keeping your people happy. It's very important. Okay, so let's talk about this assimilation. I should have done this before now.
Okay.
We have 3 regions, and so we can assimilate any of the pacified minor factions of any of those regions. Assimilating a minor faction will give us access to their ranged unit, or to their military unit, each one of which is different, and will also give us an assimilation effect, the strength of which scales with the number of their pacified villages in our empire. So you can see we have 2 Magte villages, 3 Seratan villages, and 0 Silic villages until we rebuild that one that we burned down. So if we assimilate the Magte, we'll get these archers that have they have poison on their ranged attack, which is
Okay.
kind of cool, and a bonus to the fortification value of our cities and stuff. If we assimilate the Seratan, we'll get their Driders, which is like a powerful support unit. They can cocoon your troops to heal them up, but obviously being cocooned prevents you from it puts you in a nice, well-defended state in which you cannot attack or use any of your abilities, which can be powerful, but it's the thing you have to time very carefully. And also, a defense bonus for all of our units. Or we can assimilate the Silics, get access to their very good heavy infantry unit, good but very slow heavy infantry unit. And once the village is rebuilt, half a resource point per turn from each of our strategic resource extractors. To be perfectly honest with you, I don't think any of these assimilation effects are particularly significant.
Okay.
I do think that the Harmonite unit is by far the best of these units for our army composition. I do like the Magte Archer, the Zujajun, but we don't need a relatively low damage ranged unit. That's the only thing we currently have. So I am actually going to go ahead and assimilate these, even though we're not getting much effect from them immediately, because every turn that you have a minor faction assimilated, you have a chance of receiving that faction's assimilation quest, where you do something that is related to them, and you get some kind of each faction has a different quest and reward, and I would like to see that happen. I would like to receive that, please.
Yeah, that's neat. We didn't get to see that last time for some reason.
For some reason, who can say what it was? So let's go ahead and before we can hit end turn, I do actually have to research a thing. So we could pick up another assimilation slot. I think right now it's not super valuable to do so. We could pick up alchemical alloys, allowing us to make weapons out of our strategic resources, dramatically improving the effectiveness of our units. We could research meritocratic promotion, which is a what do you call it? It's a logistics technology.
Okay.
It allows 2 extra units per army.
A radical idea.
A radical idea. I do think that, yeah, maybe it's this. It makes each army a little bit more expensive as well, increased logistics costs, but being able to start with 6 units on the field instead of 4 is a pretty big deal, and all of our enemies will have it when we run into them. So it is difficult to win a battle when you are behind on body power in that way. All right, we also gained a ton of dust that turn, so let's hire a hero. So when we're hiring a hero, we're hiring a hero specifically for the purpose of governing our cities. So we got to take that into account, both what capacities they have, things like industry efficiency and science boost, and also what their faction tree will yield. You know, what kind of long-term bonuses we're going to be able to get by leveling them up. So this Ululani Rawi here has a significant bonus to the science output of the city based on the hero's level, and a bonus to the amount of industry that each citizen assigned to industry puts out. Those are pretty good capacities, pretty powerful overall. This volcanology thing is kind of a poor fit for us. Bonus resources from volcanic terrain, bonus approval from volcanic terrain. We don't have a lot of that kind of stuff going on, but eventually, Blazing Ingenuity is just a very large science bonus. That's pretty cool. Extra resources from your strategic slots. And if we did hire Ululani Rawi, we could just transfer them to the volcanic island when we take it over, right? Which is the thing we intend to do. So that's compelling. That's something. Never Rests here. You can see as a necrophage, his bonuses are mostly food-based. His governing bonuses are mostly very food heavy. Reduction in the cost of pressing units into your military. The necrophages are the bad guys.
Yeah.
He does not have any super great governing capacities there. You can see industry boost 1 is like fine. John Port, the Shadow, has dust boost 3, which is a fair amount of boost, a fair amount of dust, and gives dust bonuses for being along a river, dust bonuses on terrain that already has dust on it, extra resources from stuff, even more dust. He's a Broken Lord. They love dust, you know?
He has a cool name. I like his name best so far.
The High Inquisitor is an ardent mage. That's a very science-focused faction, and as such, you know, lots of science boosts. And science boost too, in fact. So a lot of technology coming out of her. This Grand Cleric is another Kapaku, so it's the same volcanic stuff. Edra the Listener, notice Army Damage Boost 2, Army Defense Boost 1, does not have any governing capacities. Has 2 commander capacities instead. So obviously a little bit better as a commander. But I should note, any city that has a lot of population will benefit significantly from a cultist governor, because the cultist governor just makes your population way better at producing resources. Not necessarily a good fit for our situation, but powerful some of the time. And yeah, we got a couple of other like kind of unimpressive ones. I don't think any of these are really worth considering. I think it's the bottom part of the list is where we're at. I'll tell you, I would really love food and industry output.
Mm-hmm.
But the best version of that we have here is Never Rests, who is like fine. It is worth considering as well in many situations the fact that the governor is a combat unit and will fight in the city's defense, and so cities that are in contested areas, it makes a little bit more sense to hire a governor for their ability to murder attackers. And Never Rests is a very good combat unit. I don't think that's really relevant to our situation. I don't expect our cities to be attacked anytime soon. So I might take Ululani Rawi, actually. The industry efficiency is nice. The science boost is decent.
All right.
And like I said, I think we have a good spot for Ululani to end up in. And I think I'm going to equip them. Does your text have pronouns in it? Her. We will equip her here to take maximum advantage of that industry boost. You can see she pumped this number up by 50%. And I wanted to apply that in the place where we have the largest number of bodies to gain the benefit from it. So that took a couple of turns off of the cargo dock build. That's pretty good. Okay. Now I think we're actually ready to move on to the next turn. So I want to do that down here. Eyes on this unit. I want to see if I can prevent us from getting mauled by the Gelderus. We're gonna grab those pearls and then we're gonna jump back in the water really fast. Okay. Let the Gelderus spend their turn and then we'll come back here and take the rest of our move afterward. Same deal over here, waiting for the hostiles to move away before we do anything. Because I think we can run in here and burn this volcano former and then disappear before anybody can stop us. So, dismantle volcano former. Yep, you can see we're going to get that done in a single turn. The little orange part of the circle represents the progress you will make in one turn.
Gotcha.
Against a player's volcano former, I believe it would not be total like
Go
that.
quick. Okay.
Yeah. All right, let's search some ruins. Got ourselves another 20 Moonleaf. Very handy. We will probably just go ahead and run that again as soon as it runs out. And we can get over here and search at least one more with our hero before the season runs out. The Gelderus army went up there somewhere. I guess this is about the safest we're going to get here as an approach. We have to hope that the eclipse lasts at least one more turn. Let's see if we can get over to the west edge of this ocean. It's actually a very large region.
Yeah.
And it looks like the pink player owns... I think this is land. My guess is that we're seeing shore here. So, just from the way it's, like, split... I don't know. I don't know where Yarrow is. I mean, it's got to be over there, right? Or down here. It said it's a neighboring region, right? Yeah, it's neighbor Yarrow. All right. We shall hope. All right, please don't end yet, Eclipse. Just one more turn. One more turn gets us a couple more ruins. Okay, cool. It is still time. All right, I'm going to pop over to these guys and get them back in the water before anybody catches up with us. But they did, in fact, destroy that volcano former. Excellent news. We got some dust for that. We might be able to... My hope is to be able to hire another hero. Our ruin search got us the Dish of Canuck, a worker in the Coldrook Hive charged with cooking the victory stew after the siege of Volgi. Canuck and his shield made an unexpected encounter with an endless artifact. Canuck went mad, sadly, but his humble cookpot was transformed into a formidable defensive weapon.
That's really... All this is so charming.
That's a pretty good shield. So the other two volcano farmers... Oh, I didn't talk about this. Sorry, I got distracted. There's 10,000 things going on. The Urkins. Breaking through the crust, an ancient Urkin beast's roar echoes across the land. Where will it burrow next? And will it be a danger or a boon for your empire? So this game has kaiju. We have here Fakir, one of the mighty Urkins. Untamed Urkins will move between neutral regions every once in a while, spawning roaming armies of Urkin lice. Urkins can be tamed either through combat or by feeding them specific luxury resources. Once tamed, they grant the luxury and strategic resources of the regions that they control, because they want to be settled in a region and just they control the whole thing. And they can be relocated. They can be turned into armies and fight alongside your armies. So if we click this screen here, you can see once you control an Urkin, it has unlocks that you can, like new abilities you can unlock by spending luxury resources. So this particular Urkin would become friends to anyone who was able to offer it 60 wine. Hey, Amabel.
You got a lot of wine.
We just so happen to have access to an awful lot of wine and an army that's not too far away.
Yep.
We have to be very careful because there are hostiles. I think the smart thing to do if we want to try this would be to approach down the coastline like this.
Okay.
We can get into an area where we can make this like a 2-turn move. Yeah.
Okay. Please get me a kaiju.
I'm gonna try very hard. I think it would be a good idea, both because of how you feel about kaiju and also because of the mechanics of the kaiju.
Also, I have for you a question.
Yeah, I think this is our Euro.
What's an endless?
Well, what a question you have asked. So yeah, it's been mentioned finally in the text, and as you continue to play the game, were you to continue to play the game a bunch, it would come up more and more. The endless are creatures in the history of this place. Something happened here long ago. The endless are the people who made it happen or to whom it happened. Once there were endless here, there are endless here no more. Specifically, what are the endless is a thing that it's pretty lost to legend, right? They're pretty coy about it, at least in Endless Legend. But as you might have noticed, all of the games that have this sort of shared continuity have endless in their names, so the concept of the endless is pretty important to the thing as a whole. Maybe I will explain it sometime when we're not already 65 minutes into an episode.
Okay, that's fair.
But yeah, it is important. It matters a bunch. All right, so we're getting to the point where we're going to want to start building stuff again. We're getting those docks clear. If we're thinking about moving on to that luxury that island down there where we can mine the wine, we're going to want open pit mine. Oops, that was a little twitch of my hand. Apologies there. But I don't know that we need to research it right now. I'm gonna start grabbing the alchemy workshop. We're gonna want this relatively soon, and we're going to have the ability to actually build it in some of our cities relatively soon. So I would like to, if you don't mind, play until the end of the eclipse here, to give us a better idea of what's going on with the
Okay.
the ocean and stuff. Is anybody in immediate danger? Who needs our attention at the beginning of the turn? You already have a decent order. I guess the answer is nobody. I think we're okay. So yeah, let's start up here. There's one thing I like about the simultaneous turns. I like the way that you have to like think about where your attention is going to be focused at any moment. Prepare for potentially, aggressive stuff to happen at the beginning of combat. Let's parlay with this weird new fortress. No, this is mean. Interesting. Okay, so we've seen this quest before. Talk with 5 fortresses to get them to join your empire. Yeah, that's really interesting. That is a boarding vessel. We're just going to munch that real fast. Also, we've formally... Oh! Purple is the Alayi. No, that's not what I meant to do. What I meant to do was this. Show me where we've met them. There was a purple unit spotted, like, on our border. So purple must be expanding, like, eastward and stuff. Okay, that's very interesting. So, not what I was expecting. We are the Alayi, loyal children and defenders of Mother Auriga. Arguably, the Alayi are potentially the only one of the game's factions that is actually native to the planet, I believe, if I've got my lore straight there. A great statue looms above you, some grim creature of teeth and horns and wings, whose inscription is ruined and unreadable. Below it is a newer one, scratched roughly into the stone. I, Nuha-Hatem, have failed to return the shard of Akariel. The 3 who find that sword and place it here will gain what I could not. Below the writing, a rough map has been sketched, and between the feet of the creature there appears to be the outline of a sword that was once inset as part of a pedestal. Okay, so if we search a temple ruins, particularly called out in a particular area, with a infantry hero of at least level 4, we will receive the shard of Akariel, and then we can bring it back to this ruin to get ourselves a little boss fight. The shard of Akariel, I don't know how easy it is for you to read that set of stats, is a very fucking good weapon. This is an extremely powerful one-handed sword. So just getting the shard, even without the rest of this quest, would be very worthwhile. We do not have any infantry heroes of level 4, but that is a thing worth considering for the future. We might be able to hire a kaiju. Amabel, it might happen.
Yay!
Let's float on here a little bit. Okay, sadly we are not finding a lot of temple ruins on this side. The 37. That is what they appear to be, the tiny numbers etched on the stock of this crossbow. Is it the number of kills? A number in a series? No one knows, and yet a weapon this powerful should be famous across Auriga. It actually is a pretty good crossbow. So we can see here more of Red's border. You can see their empire is reasonably large. Okay, I'm a little worried. Right, we didn't actually deal with that battle yet. Okay, so you should be able to make it down here and get us another ruin search. Awesome. That is so good. That is such good news. 414 dust is okay. We could hire another hero. We don't have as broad of a choice this time because some of them are out the top of the threshold. But honestly, I don't think John Port's a bad pull. So just a lot of raw dust is contributing. Also, bonus dust from rivers. Also, bonus dust from tiles that already have dust on them. Like, he's a pretty good governor for our newest city, I think, which is along a river and is in a place where there is dust on the terrain naturally.
Also, he's John Port the Shadow, and he's an infant. That's not how I would abbreviate that. That's my advice.
I'm sure they'll take it under advisement. Okay, so John Port's going to give us a little bit of a boost over here. We do need to build some more stuff in this area. We can build a building that will produce extra dust from the river, but it's only active during the summer, and right now we're just about to head into winter, so I don't necessarily think that's a super high priority here. Let's build ourselves a glass steel extractor. Start pulling the glass steel there. It's pretty close to the city, but we know that when we expand, we intend to expand west to pick up all these anomalies, so we're not going that direction. And that'll give us enough time to finish researching the alchemy workshop. Not that any of this matters. Obviously, the only thing that is of any real import is the kaiju. And we're getting there. All right, let's do this. I probably don't have to manual this, but, you know, I like to be safe. Every once in a while, you get lazy. You think, well, the game couldn't possibly screw this one up. You hit auto-resolve, and then something very wild happens. You are so badly injured. Could you just, like, stay back here and not do things? All right, the submarine's probably got this. Yeah, turns out free submarine, pretty big deal. We got lucky. We got really lucky in a lot of ways early in the game. So if this is mean, where the hell is Yarrow? It must be down here? Oh, we can see a Draken army of fire ships. We're gonna put
that's not ideal.
We're gonna put a flee for the safety of our own oceans order in here. All right. This is our focus because this is the place where we might get to do the thing. Even if the eclipse ends here, it will not affect this action at all. My man, Fakir, would you like so much wine? Oh, we have offered him so much wine, and he is very pleased. Amabel, congratulations.
Yay!
We bought a zoo. I am going to take our friend Fakir and just relocate him. So you can migrate an Urkin to any new neutral region. We're just going to pull him over to this neutral region for right now. He's just going to take control of Ust for us.
Okay, also...
Yeah. Look at him.
That's good. It's not a zoo until we have 2 of them.
Okay. If I uproot him and turn him into an army, can he search the ruin for me? He can. What a team player. We can't root him back in the ground until next turn, but yeah, he produced 170 dust there immediately. Great work, my dude. And we're going for another region over here. We're going for another what do you call it? Ruin. And I guess there's no reason not to just keep sailing along the coast. I know we're passing a lot of sea ruins, but searching sea ruins ends your turn, so I'm trying to make... Like, this one's not too bad. We'll be out of movement when we enter this tile anyway. Okay, another 70 dust has put us in... hero buying range again, actually. Trying to navigate a way through all these storm tiles without actually having to stop in any of them. This gives our hero time to make it down here and pick up some ruin searches from this island. Another 85 dust. Fantastic news. This eclipse is running quite a bit longer than I thought it was going to. We could probably crush these Zujajun real quick with our very impressive man. Let us demo the Urkin in combat. Oh, it cost an action point to migrate. I forgot. I think it costs one to root as well. So we may want to not do anything. We may want to just put down roots in the region. Our moonleaf and our spices ran out. I'm gonna reactivate the moonleaf for sure. How are my cities doing? We're all fervent. We don't need the approval boost from the spices. And winter is, I think, very likely to start within the next 10 turns. So I'm going to hold the spices until after the winter.
Okay.
The rest of our luxuries are holding us down, though. We're in okay shape here. Yeah, I have to admit, I'm a little surprised to have gotten that so easily. We got really lucky with the Urkin wanting the one resource we had a ton of. So, once you have an Urkin trained, you can buy upgrades for them. You can see here. While this Urkin is rooted to a region, your own and allied cities in neighboring regions produce plus 20% dust. Enemy cities in neighboring regions produce minus 10% dust. Stuff like that. You can see also the way their circles are designed here is this like Venn diagram. Abilities that are in the overlap area affect both of the Urkins. And then this ability affects all three of the Urkins, and they require, if you're going to buy, I believe to buy this ability, you have to have all three of them. So this is like, a reward for catching yourself a zoo worth of Urkins. I'm going to go ahead and buy Dust Leecher. The ability to sense and exploit veins of dust by piggybacking on existing mycelial webs could be very valuable to us, and all it costs to buy it is emeralds, which I don't think are very good. So when we root him back down, he'll be providing dust bonuses to all three of our cities. This is actually phenomenally lucky. All right, we're going to go one more turn here, and if the eclipse doesn't end, we're going to call it there anyway.
Just one more turn.
Just one more turn. This is the thing about turns, is that I need for there to be just one more of them. I forgot to hire a hero. We'll do it in a second. Oh, I can't search this ruin because this is the Shard of Akariel ruin. So I'm not allowed to do the other searches on it because the quest search takes precedent. Okay, the Zujajun attacked us. All right. Well, they want a demonstration of the Urkin's power. So, the first thing you might notice about this Urkin is that it has 838 HP.
That's good. That's really good. Why would they attack?
Because the hostile minor faction, like neutral armies, they're insane. They're insanely aggressive. So my man, if you could just, step to here, chomp there. So this is what it looks like when the Urkin does things. Then they fire back and do basically no harm. And then the lice, it should be noted, the lice are no slouch. They have very impressive attack and damage stats. The thing about the lice is they have extremely poor defense and not a lot of health. So they're very sort of glass cannon type units. But basically we just had the good luck to gain ourselves an army. Oh, I thought we were going to get over there. I love the way he moves. Just tunneling through the earth. Good. That's very fun. All right, I think it is reasonable now to construct some alchemy workshops. We're about to finish the cargo dock here. It is still the case that nobody has started building the industrial megapole. The city is better at constructing things than it used to be. It's had time to produce another point of population and also, Ululani Rawi and everything. We might try to build another wonder in this city, actually.
Okay.
I think that's probably going to end up being the thing. But that's a decision to make at the beginning of the next video. We are a mere 4 technologies away from jumping up into the next tier here. We're starting to get close enough to people that I think it might be a good idea to pick up the ability to make friends. Some advanced diplomatic technology, I think, will do us good.
And you're going to buy a hero this turn.
That is a thing I am thinking. You know what? Let's have a chat. We haven't picked up minor faction quests. Successfully sign 3 peace treaties with other major factions in the next 5 turns to get 25 spices. Man, do you know how hard it is to do 5 turns? Well, we are going to have the ability to make peace treaties in 3 turns. I don't know. Maybe this will happen. A connoisseur of Ariga's rare marvels, luxury delicacies, and endless paraphernalia, the leader of the Ursus is willing to ally with you on one strict condition. You prove your talent in the marketplace, demonstrating to them that they will enjoy plenty of interesting trinkets if they tie their fortunes to your empire. One day they even dream of finding relics associated with the legendary Eslik Tarosh, the mysterious being who appears on the Day of Awakening. They can hope. Okay, alright. Alright, we'll fucking see about that, boys. We found another quest in here. Okay, build 2 luxury extractors to get a technology that improves the output of your luxury extractors. That seems fine. Well, we'll do that eventually. So this really long eclipse has been super good for our ability to search. But no, this is not an ocean region. So our faction quest, I think, is lied to us. It says the region Wervelin and its neighbor Yarrow, but we can now see all of Wervelin's border, and it definitely does not.
I mean, does neighbor mean adjacent?
Yes. Literally, yes. I mean, I guess we'll go back up here and we'll see about getting stuff done in here, but this region is called Mean, right? That's what we learned from that. Yeah, the inhabitants of Bastion in Mean. So this, you know what? This army over here, I think we're gonna have them try to go around the top of the world and see if we can find Yarrow that way.
Okay.
And you are going to search this last. This is probably our last eclipse search. I think we're running out of places to search temple ruins. Okay, so final thing before the end of the video, let's talk about our new empire plan. So this, I think we want to get, if we are willing to. You can see the further tiers in each direction are unlocked by your research era, because we're in era 2 now. We can access the second tier of each plan. The second tier of science and industry is a 33% reduction in the cost of your buildings. That's a pretty big deal, especially if we're talking about maybe building an expensive wonder. And obviously we want to keep our plus 20% science. We can also push down here and get a nice big approval bonus. Right now, this is overkill. Right now, we're fervent anyway, right? And we have enough wine to keep a wine booster running for a while, but our other boosters are going to run out. I think this gives us a little bit of future-proofing safety. I like this as an empire plan. It does cost 360 influence. Compared to our last empire plan, which was 40, I believe. But I think this is the way to go here. So we'll go ahead, lock that in, and I think that's all the decisions that we need to make. So I'm going to hit the end turn button here so that we're at the start of the next turn, because the game behaves a little bit strangely if you save and then reload on a turn where the empire plan... Just trust me, for mechanical reasons, this is a good idea. We're not going to make any decisions for this turn, but we are going to save on turn 41. I'm kind of curious, though. Did we get... Wow, we got the longest eclipse in history. Okay, we got another another ruin search out of it. That's pretty lucky. 70 dust. And then please root yourself. So now we're getting all that bonus dust. And that's rad. Ah, and we've formally met Hakub of the cultists. Ah, because Hakub has also got a navy running around, which I don't care for. All right. Lots of stuff needs doing, and we're gonna do it. But, you know, later. What is this? Oh, a big army of purple units just kind of sailing around exploring the world. So we can see these are the basic Alagi unit and a minor faction unit that they brought along with them. Yeah, interesting stuff. We have powerful buildings completing. We have a lot of meaningful decisions to make soon. And we got ourselves a kaiju to guard our empire, which is certainly going to supplement our, let's be honest, somewhat thin ability to project power on land. That is going to be where we leave it for today. 90 minutes, you know, the 4x hour. When you come back next time, we're going to try to convert all of this good setup work into some kind of thrust in the direction of a victory. I'm not exactly sure how yet. We'll figure it out, and we'll see you then.